Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Oh yeah, welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the show where we're discussing the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 3 minutes at a time. My name is Tom Taylor.
I'm not so promising Pete Mummert. And I just realized that this whole movie could have been one of those end titles in American Graffiti.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Positive Pete, baby.
Positive
Cold hard
Pete.
cash.
I'm Joe Christopher. I believe in cash. Porter.
And we're here today to talk about minutes 79 through 81. These begin with Indy and Helena talking about the dates that Baz had written down, including August 20th, 1939, which Indy points out was 2 weeks before Hitler invaded Poland. Helena wonders if he started to believe that the dial is magic, and Indy says he's been from one side of this globe to the other. He's seen a lot of strange stuff, and he thinks it has a lot more to do with belief than magic. And Helena comes back with a Han Solo paraphrase of her own by saying that the only thing worth believing in is cash. She then asks what Indy would do if he could go back in time, and he says he'd stop Mutt from enlisting in the army, and he'd convince him by telling him he was going to die and that his death would end Indy's and Marion's marriage. And he walks off as Helena notes that he's still wearing his wedding ring. Then it's the next day, and Helena is checking out booze bottles and shirtless sailors before opening a drawer labeled Chekhov's Dynamite, and the minutes end as she joins the others as the gang gets ready to go diving. And there's a strange leap right at the very, very beginning of these minutes. Indy saying, "Yeah, we had this. Baz had these dates written down. It was August 20th, 1969, and August 20th, 1939." And she goes, "Oh, so all of a sudden you believe that the dial has magical powers?" I was like, "I didn't say that. Wait a minute. I just said there's two dates here."
You know,
I don't know what that leap is there. I don't know
what
how
the
she got
leap
to
should
that.
have been? They should have gone right into Olivia Newton-John singing Magic from Xanadu.
Oh,
that would have made this movie even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have
Or
had
even,
to gotten
if you
up
believe in the dial of destiny.
Let me ask you guys: Is this one of the most important scenes in the entire franchise?
I kind of think so, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what Indy's
Well, what are you getting
response-
at, Jerry? Like you? What,
Okay,
what do you
yeah.
think is the
Well,
important
okay. So
part?
look, this entire time, and even on our show, and as indie watchers, an entire generation of people, are like, oh, okay, so the Lost Ark of the Covenant, and then like Yahweh comes down and he kills all the people, and then Indy believes, like he shows the respect in Raiders, and then all these things, and he believes in the Sankara stones, and all the green, comes back, the whole village comes back to life, and he believes in the Sankara stones, and then it's like, oh, the Holy Grail, and they find it, and he believes it. He's constantly, we joke about this.
He's Peter Pan.
Like, what do you mean?
If I only believe hard enough, it'll come true. Is that Peter Pan?
Well,
maybe.
Isn't that
yeah,
when he
maybe
eats
like you got to clap and save Tinkerbell or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh yeah, if you believe enough, if you believe in fairies, yeah.
Because is that what he's saying? I don't understand what he's saying. Like, is he say? Because he says, "I don't believe in magic," but then I came to believe it's not how much you believe or what you believe; it's how hard you believe it.
This is
Can I
one of
tell
those
you-
fun moments on the show where I fully agree with both of you guys. Yes, Jerry, it is so heartwarming and amazing to see Indiana Jones acknowledging that he has seen some crazy stuff that he can't explain.
Right.
Just saying that is amazing. But then he follows it up with absolute balderdash that I don't understand at all.
That's what he doesn't say anything, and he doesn't. He doesn't say he believes it. He just says it's important that you believe really hard. But
well,
believe
okay,
what?
so
like, I don't
believe that
understand
you
what that
don't believe?
means. I don't know what that means in terms of Indiana Jones and what he's seen, and I don't know what it means as like a thing to crochet on a thing. Like, I don't know what it's not what you believe, it's how hard you believe it.
So
I
what
think he's trying to be profound, and it isn't.
Well, Pete, I heard him say that, and the first thing I thought of was one of your favorite scenes in this entire Indy canon, which was the old man Indy
Oh.
sliding down a banister.
Oh, Jesus.
That is one of my
that's-
favorite scenes.
That's kind of how this comes out a little bit. It's almost like he
Hey,
he answers this very profound thing with a, he kind of he kind of goes, it's how hard you believe it, and then he slides down the banister and he leaves you with that. Yeah,
Like, he
but
could just have easily said, like, it's not what you
But at
believe,
least-
it's the human heart.
At least the banister, you get a story arc. You go from the top of the banister to the bottom of the banister, point A to point B. You saw how he got there. He says one thing, and then he says a complete non sequitur, and he doesn't explain it. Like, none of
well,
it makes any sense.
I'm gonna throw this out there, Pete. See if you can catch this in the end zone. It is.
All right.
I think what he's actually talking about is the individuals. We're asking him, like, okay, so he's like, I've seen a lot of things. Do you believe in magic? I've seen a lot of things that are inexplicable or I can't explain. I don't understand them. But I think he's actually bringing it back to the dealing with human to human to human is where he's viewing this. So if you look at it, you're like, okay, so Belloc believed, it's how hard you believe. And Belloc has a certain idea. And then his dad gets healed by the Holy Grail. He believes, right? He knows
And he has
that
to
his
make
dad,
a leap of faith, Indy does.
Yes.
He has to try to believe and stuff, yeah.
So I think it's like the question
Okay.
is...
Actually, okay, you might have saved it. You might have saved the line. That's actually a really good reading.
Actually, you know what?
yeah.
I was starting to think that he was almost, like, what he was saying is almost kind of dismissing the things that he's seen. Like, it's not what you believe, it's how hard you believe it. It's like, I don't know what happened on Malta when all the Nazis were gone when I opened my eyes and the Ark did something. I don't know. So I don't believe anything crazy happened, but here I am on an empty island, so whatever. But then, so you can say that about, like, the Sankara stones and other stuff. But the one thing he did, like, actually make an effort to believe in was, okay, I have faith I'm not going to fall down this thing when I step out onto this empty chasm, and I'm doing it to save my dad. So maybe, okay, the one time I believed in something, it saved my dad's life. So I guess you do have to believe hard in some things if it makes it matter or something. I don't know. There's something there. Something about, like, the one time he cared enough to believe.
Yeah, that's good too.
That actually made a difference to him.
See, you guys just saved the movie. That's great.
Aw, that's what we're here for.
Well, they put this moment
both
in.
of those are very profound things you both said.
I feel like they put this scene in, and this is a lot for me to say on movie 5, right? But they put this scene in, and they dealt with it so well. And Indy is such an incredible actor, Harrison Ford, here, and the way he talks about it. And, her response is, I believe in cash, and his right is incredible.
That is the most devastating. That's great. Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And he walks away. He's not upset. He's not getting in an argument or like, I knew you'd say that. It's nothing. It's just a right that lands like a thud, like the lid of the Ark and the Covenant right
No,
at the end of
That's
the,
like Marion's cannon punch. That's like
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it just they said, okay, everybody's been kicking these ideas around like magic versus, hocus pocus. Like, what are you, Marcus? You sound like my mother. You trying to scare me? The boogeyman?
Yeah.
All that talk, and they're like, we have to adjust this. Indy's like 80 years old. We gotta wrap this up in a bow. And I'd say this is one of the better scenes, maybe one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. I mean, I have other
maybe agree with you.
Yeah, I have other scenes that are my favorite, and I like them better, and all that stuff. But this, as a linchpin of who this character is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like he does say more. I think he might address this more later on in the movie. I forget. I feel like there's another part where he's like, I've seen some stuff or something. Maybe not. But this does.
Well,
I mean, yeah, this kind of had to happen, and I think they did it well. And I agree.
I'm good. I wouldn't have until you both spoke, but I'm going to agree.
Aw.
Number 3, though. We're
Not
all in
only are you
agreement.
blindly optimistic now, Pete, but you're also letting us make things even better for you. This is
Yeah,
nice.
it's because you believe. It's because you both believe, and
is that
that's
it?
all it took.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not what I intended, but okay.
Well, were you?
I'll
Were
let me
you?
tell you one thing I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
no. Well, I was going to say one thing I don't believe in is Helena's line right after Indy's right. Is I feel like she says, "What would you do if you could go back in time? Witness the Trojan War? Check in on Cleopatra?" And I feel like that's like the most surface level things that you would say about somebody going into the past to do, not somebody that
Yeah.
loves history would
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Meet
feel
Abraham
like,
Lincoln?
yeah, that's a weird. I don't understand where that came. It's like past lives 101 or it's not like
Very slumber party.
yeah. There's not a lot
Yeah.
of meat on the bone there, which felt weird.
But-
I think that's more as maybe a function of the script writers.
Well, it
weren't
could
big-
be like in the last minutes, she did the card trick thing and called him a mark, and then she immediately sort of seemed to feel bad about that. And maybe this is another thing, like, oh, I said that thing about cash and he was not buying it. I'm going to pivot and just make something kind of light and let's talk about time travel kind of thing.
For me,
And-
it's more just a question. She seems like she's super smart and knows about a lot about history, so it just seems like a
Yeah.
weird, like surface level.
You know what,
Yeah.
Pete? You are absolutely right, and I think that entire line is what Tommy said. She completely disappointed him by calling him a mark, and he kind
Yeah.
of walked away. And then she comes back up. She engages with him again. They're having another meaningful thing, and she fumbles again, and she knows she's like cash because I'm a pirate, and she's leaning into it. I'm a grave robber, same as you, and he gives her a right, and now, within about 2 minutes, she's completely disappointed him. And so I think that line
Yeah.
is she's trying to pivot, and it rings hollow because it is hollow. She's desperate in that
Yeah.
moment.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's just trying to be like, oh, I gotta pick up something. So let hey, so Ed, where would you go? Kind of like a let's change.
You
the
like history,
subject.
don't you?
Is this
Yeah,
is this movie paying you guys to say this stuff? You guys are like on fire today.
Also, this
like
movie's available
history?
on Disney Plus if you subscribe.
It is like that though.
It's interesting though because she's kind of like following his arc with his own dad. Like she doesn't know that she wants his approval so badly, but she keeps finding out again and again that she does. The more that she disappoints him.
Yeah, like we've been watching for her turn as to like a sympathetic a person who we care about and who might care about Indiana Jones, and it seems like in these last few episodes she's got little tiny fits and starts of like, oh, I should stop poking at this guy. He's a human being, and I loved him once, and
Well, I think that it hits something deeper inside her than she knows is there, just like his dad did. It like goes back to something way before she became a cynical cash lover.
Well, okay, so let's unpack that line for a minute. Like, I believe in cash, whatever, and Indy gives her a right, and you're like, okay, let's walk
Didn't
through
you get
this.
that as a henna tattoo one time?
I did. I got a dollar sign on my forearm. You got a
Classy.
good memory, Pete.
a little too good.
So let's walk through the franchise. You're like, okay, obviously, like, why? We have Mac. He's like, that's what's his name?
That was worse than
wait,
my
what are we going
imitations. I love that.
That was really bad. That was me
That
sliding
was
down.
brilliant.
Sliding down a banner. No, you got so Mac is we see at the end of Crystal Skull is
I want
like
to hear that. What?
he he runs around the future British Museum of all the
Yeah.
stuff the aliens collected. And you're like,
Oh, yeah.
he's trying to shove all the cash in his pockets. It's really weird and awkward. You're like, so Indy knows that doesn't work. Who else does he get? Donovan's not really a cash guy. Donovan is a Holy Grail guy. Now Marion,
He's more of a power guy, yeah.
yeah, Marion, interestingly enough, is a bit of a cash gal. A bit. at the bar in Nepal, she's drinking for that. She's, I don't know. She's, he said, she says,
Well, she
are you
doesn't
willing
have
to?
much, so she's trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying
She
to get out
says-
of there. She's got.
She
a
says
chance
to
to get out of
Toad,
there.
are you willing to pay more for it? He's like, oh, most certainly. And you're like, oh, she's like, maybe she's gonna sell, like screw Indy over and sell it to Toad for more money. I mean, she's got it in there, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see
Willie was all into diamonds and stuff.
Willie was
and-
all into diamonds. When we see
Ilsa was all into the power of the Grail.
Oh yeah.
when you see Wombat into cash, which we've already seen her trying to sell the pieces, and and she's going to Marrakesh or Morocco, where is she? Do we believe that, or is she just saying that to appear piratical? Why do they?
I think she thinks she believes that. See,
Right.
I feel like she hasn't, in her own mind, she hasn't followed her thoughts and her feelings to the point that she wants Indy's approval still. Like in her mind, she's still like, I just believe in cash because that's the only thing that won't abandon me.
There's a
So if-
rebelliousness to her cash.
Well, I think
love.
it's more of a protection. Like she hasn't been protected. And so I think that for her, I'm looking out for myself because
Yeah,
no one
I
else
don't
has
need
looked
anybody.
out for me. Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you, go back to the very beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I know it's fun. Think of Indy, and he's outside the Chachapoyan temple. He sees Forrestal. He's a competitor. He's going in. He's doing all this stuff. Stupido is sitting there, like, grubbing his fingers when he almost gets the idol. And you're like, is this right, Indy? Right. Is that different than the Indy we meet in Raiders? At the very beginning, like, has he changed?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think he was ever where Helena is saying she is. That cash is all there is to believe in. He was never into cash, like literally just money.
He wanted
and
the
wealth.
glory.
He wanted glory, and he wanted he did want the prize. He wanted like even at the end of Raiders, he's like, the money's fine. Who cares about the money? Where's the Ark?
Yeah.
What he cared about. We make fun of him for being a lousy archaeologist and not really understanding history, but I think he thinks he cares about history.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that is hugely important to him.
Well, let me take it back one kadam. How about the Diamond Lao? Is he interested in cash then?
Yeah. No, again, I think that's not just like a really expensive diamond. That's a specific thing. That's an artifact.
Yeah.
And they had a deal, for crying out loud. You got to honor your deals.
But he's given up an equally or maybe more important artifact, which is interesting.
That's true.
But then he goes somewhere here that I hate what he says here, so much, but I think it's brilliant. Because I think it's real. Like, it feels like something a real person would say, is he puts this huge guilt trip on his dead son, which is amazing because that's what people do. Like, he's like, she's like, what would you do if you could talk to him? He's like, I'd tell him that his mom's a mess and his mom is his life and my life are ruined. Thanks, kid. Yeah. But that's to me, that feels like the most real thing in this movie. Like, that's what real people would say. Like, that's how people feel.
Is that really what he's doing, though? I mean, is
100%.
it a guilt trip on Mutt, or is it him?
How is it not a guilt trip on Mutt?
Because I think he.
If you hadn't died, your mom would be fine.
But he said he did that Mutt joined the army to piss off Indy. So Indy is acknowledging that he did something to drive his son to be a rebel and to go join the is it rebellious to join the army? I don't know. But that he joined the army because of Indy and got himself killed. And it feels like Indy is the way he delivers all that. It seems like I messed up hugely. Like, yeah, I wouldn't go meet Cleopatra. I would try to get my son to be alive. And I
believe that's what he's saying, and I believe that's what he tells himself. But I also think that he's laying a pretty heavy guilt trip on his dead kid.
Well, so
I can see that.
I think it's a natural reaction.
The reason I'm fighting against that is because in 5 Indiana Jones movies, I have never once even thought I know other people have. Maybe when like Indy hugs Short Round, or Indy hugs his dad when his dad thinks he's dead. People have shed a tear or two over some Indy moments. I have never even approached that. That's not what these movies are about for me. But when he says that he would try to keep his son from getting killed, and he says that whole thing, I'm like, I'm right now.
I'm not
Shut up.
saying
Now.
I'm not
putting
saying
my
he
mic
doesn't.
over here. I'm getting a little misty.
But I'm not saying he doesn't miss his son. I'm not saying he doesn't want his son to be dead. I'm just saying I think he's putting a lot on his son.
I know. I'm just saying that this
addition.
moment for me is
No,
like,
it's a nice
Jerry,
moment.
you were saying that like, the acknowledging that he's seen a lot of crazy stuff that he can't explain, that's huge. I agree with that. But this, like, I'm starting to think of this movie as like it's not even a movie. It's like a coda to the Indiana Jones story or something. It's like we kind of need to see him acknowledge he's seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We need to see that he's a human being who has gone through some tragedy and stuff, and he pours, whatever, vodka in his coffee in the first thing in the morning. Like, we kind of need to see this stuff. And this is like, none of this would ever happen in any other Indiana Jones movie. He wouldn't have this kind of grief or real human emotion. And I love seeing it here.
So I was accurate. This all could have been the end title for American Graffiti to the Indiana Jones franchise.
Kind of. Maybe 2 hours
It's
long.
kind of you need it to tie up the loose ends.
No,
Well,
like, I want to
adds
see
a-
these
adds a
moments.
little
I don't
bit-
want
it
to
adds
just
a
like have
little
like
bit-
little bullet points.
It adds a little bit of a gut punch. Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah.
wait. So real quick, because it is an interesting look at Indy being an American, sacrifice, the military, patriotism. There's a little bit. We're talking about Indy fights in World War II, and the movie opens up like
Yeah.
that. He fights Nazis. This is what, year 1969, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 69. All right, so you kind of go, so if Indy's a veteran, what part did he didn't want Mutt to fight in the Vietnam War? I mean, did he become a pacifist, or was he just against specifically the Vietnam War? Because by 69, it's like, we talking about, if I'm not mistaken, the tide started to turn around then. There was the Tet Offensive, and what was it, 68, I believe. And then, the war became sort of, there was a lot of, it was like My Lai and all that stuff. And people they started to become more pacifist, or, hey, this isn't the war that we thought. And, it was a very different vibe than, say, 1967, maybe 1966, when people were a little bit more like, well, my father served in the military. I'm going to do the right sacrifice. I'm going to serve in the military. But if this is 69 and Mutt's dead, you're like, so when did he die? Like 68, 67? And if he joined
maybe.
if he joined to piss off Indy, then that means fairly early Indy was thinking this isn't a war that maybe we should be in, or...
Yeah, I think that's probably an element, but also like if he joined and wasn't drafted, then it was like a decision that he made.
Yeah.
And, according to Indy, he was just doing it to piss him off. And,
But Indy's
Well, it's also
a
interesting
veteran.
because
He's a veteran.
but but a lot of people were veterans and didn't believe in the Vietnam War,
Yeah.
Even
It's
early
also
on.
interesting though, because this is 11 years after Crystal Skull, right? Like that was 58.
Sure, you say so? Yeah.
So Indy and Mutt didn't have a long, they didn't have a long relationship before Mutt
you're right.
joined up. Probably, like it's
Yeah.
interesting. They
I mean,
And like we
Mutt's
don't get
only-
any details about like how he pissed him off or anything like
Right.
that, but it's not hard to imagine that Indy wouldn't be an awesome dad. Like, that he wouldn't quite be there for him, that they didn't totally understand each other.
What? So
Yeah.
no,
so
I
Mutt.
think
fill in those pieces.
I think they got this really right. Like I think
Yeah.
this is a nice scene. Like I think they did it really well.
But I mean, Mutt passed away. Like he's only been dead like a year. Maybe 2
yeah.
years.
Maybe a year, maybe
2
two.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
I think
fairly
you guys
early in
is-
the Vietnam War, medium.
Yeah.
Well, I think they joined, like the U.S. really like ramped in like 65, 66. So it could
Yeah.
have been
He could have been in an
could have
earlier.
been a couple years early. I don't
yeah,
know.
it could have been like 66.
Yeah, like
67.
if he joined up, it may have been like early days. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going off to fight.
That's true. And then 58. So they would have had a relationship for 5, 6, 7 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Long enough. It's long enough to piss somebody off and go to war.
Long enough to
Get
piss
away
off
from
your dad.
And then piss off the other guy to be like, "Oh, thanks for ruining your mom's life, kid."
Way
Yeah.
to go, idiot.
Is it? Could you guys think of a different trajectory for Mutt?
That is interesting. That is, it's possibly obnoxious that they killed him off screen like this. Or you could easily think that if we didn't have a scene like this and like Indy's like struggling with it and he, like his death, the absence of him in the movie serves a purpose, you know. Like
It also serves the purpose that he was the Jar Jar Binks of Crystal Skull for a lot of people. And I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was unfair.
when they made
though.
this movie, I think they knew that very few people liked Mutt.
Yeah, he had a stink on him from that movie, whether it was
Yeah.
deserved or not.
And
And then
as the
Shia LaBeouf
actor
has
in-
a
yeah.
stink on him in real life.
Yeah.
So
I think you add those, you factor those in together, and I don't think they had a lot of choice.
Dude,
But,
our
you
Mutt,
could easily, but he could easily, you know, he could be in the war. He could be like, you know, oh, he's fixing bikes in Tucson or something. He's
Yeah.
like anything. Like he's just
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, they managed to never mention Shorty again, ever once
Yeah.
in any of the other
Yeah.
movies.
That's true.
Just
Yeah.
still baffling
do you
to me.
do you think we could have gotten through this movie not knowing anything about Mutt? He's just not around.
I kind of do. I wouldn't. Yeah. I think.
I think we could have if Spielberg had directed it. I don't know. I feel like other people are going to feel a need to. I don't know though.
I don't know. He's got. In the end, Mutt as a character is sort of like another one of his buddies. He's like a Sala or a Wuhan or something. So like if he doesn't show up in the next movie, it makes sense.
But this, to me,
Indy's
this makes
in.
Mutt's character in Crystal Skull much more compelling. Like this makes him a much more interesting
That's only if you go back to watch Crystal Skull again. Which you're never going to do. You pee on it.
No, I agree with you, Pete.
But it's
And
like
there's
the fact that he's
something-
dead means it adds
Yeah.
a level of romance or a level of interest to him that he didn't have otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, all I can picture when I see that movie, when I think of that movie now, is the two of them walking in fake Mexico, and
Yeah.
having a little heart to heart about whatever.
But they
Yeah,
had a
fix-
moment.
fix
Now
bikes.
you're like, oh, he had a moment with him. That's great.
Yeah,
That's-
they had a
that's-
moment, but then
there's
like
something
it got
poignant.
ruined somehow, and
When they realized they weren't actually in Mexico.
nothing.
And,
Yeah, you lied to me.
why are
Dad.
we ordering tacos?
Why is there a cliff over the Nazca line?
He probably lied to him about Vietnam. He probably didn't go to Vietnam. Wound up in
Son, you got your tickets for a vacation in Peru.
I wound up in Iceland. No, it's fascinating that I do feel more invested and tied to and saddened, and that it's much more poignant, and it's affecting me more than I would think. As you said, to
Yeah.
go back and now think about Mutt and Crystal Skull, and there he is on his motorcycle. And at first I'm like, oh, come on. We really got to have a guy on a motorcycle. And I'm like, oh, man, he loves motorcycles. That sweet man.
Yeah,
I'm so
As-
glad he
I would think
finally
that
had
even if you
fun.
like even the people who actually hated Mutt and thought he was the Jar Jar of the movie and stuff, I would think that seeing this, you kind of have the reaction
yeah.
of like, oh man, that happened to Mutt. Oh, gee whiz. Well,
But
kinda
that,
sucks.
like, I feel like they took the lesson that, I mean, George Lucas was one of the first people that did that, I think, where he put those title cards like that at the end, and it added a whole new dimension, like a whole new depth to those
Yeah.
characters. And I feel like they learned that lesson here. They did the same thing, and it worked.
yeah,
It's a very bold thing to do, and I think it works. And I'll say, these are some of my favorite minutes of this movie.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, this scene.
There's another line I really like here is Helena goes, "You're still wearing the ring."
Yeah,
And Indy just keeps walking.
yeah.
Like he doesn't
Yeah.
respond. He doesn't nothing. And I love that.
Well, Pete, what was funny I thought about that is she goes, "You're still wearing the ring," and I'm like, "That's right. She's all about cash. She's about to ask
If you're done with that, I could, yeah.
for it. Could I have that?" Well, okay. So she
It
says,
is. It
"You're
actually.
still-"
It feels a little like one of her. It's like another little. I'm reading too much into this, but it is a little like Oh, I hurt his feelings by calling him a mark. Oh,
Yeah.
I hurt his feelings by saying cash. That was more important than anything. And now it's like a little like. No one's gonna get this. I'm gonna say this anyway because I wrote it in my notes, and I think it every time I see this moment. If anybody knows the show Community, there's a character Abed on there, and she reminds me exactly of him when she says that line. You're still wearing the ring, because he's like this character who's on the spectrum. He's this huge nerd, and he often doesn't pick up on stuff, but he often says exactly what is the truth of the situation, So, and that kind of what seems like is going on here. Like she's so preoccupied with like anything that isn't
Yeah.
an honest human reaction or relationship with Indiana Jones, but then here she like just sees that and she's like, oh my God, that's the truth of what he just said, is that yes, his marriage is over in quotes, but he's still wearing the ring, and I'm acknowledging it even if he isn't.
Well, she's also incredibly observant. Like she several times you realize how closely she observes things, and it's whether it's because she's trying to scam someone or that she's just a really good observer. I don't know, but it's interesting. It's good.
I think they set that up as
Everybody's a mark, so she has to be good at observing.
I think she set that up as foreshadowing. It's like he's still wearing the ring, meaning they're going to get back together.
Oh, so you think it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge who says that? It's like she's one of the writers on the movie. Like,
yeah, she's one of the writers on the movie. Yeah,
we need a
I
little
do. I
foreshadowing.
think they put that in there. They're like, oh, there's Indy hasn't given up hope. I mean, because he says, it ruined our marriage, and she's like, you're still wearing a ring, and you're like, well, yeah, it's foreshadowing that they're gonna
get
back
her off
together.
Yeah,
I can't get. I've put on a bunch of weight.
It's interesting too that Indy. I still think I know I keep coming back to this, but I think it's also interesting that Indy puts the blame for the marriage on Mutt, and not the fact that he's been a pretty lousy husband a lot of the time.
Well, he says
it's interesting how she is such a good observer, but he's not at all a good observer of himself.
She says
I don't know, but I mean, he does. Yeah, like Pete's. Yeah, no good.
Well, he says that he was unable to console her, or he didn't know how to console her, right?
Yeah, that sounds like he's putting it on himself.
Yeah,
and
like,
I'm not. I couldn't do it. I didn't have that. I don't have those skills. I don't know what. I don't have what it takes.
I don't know.
Make a sad Marion happy.
I hear that line differently. That's interesting.
Well, so do you think that if he sat Mutt down and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna join this, and you're gonna make your mom sad forever," then would Mutt be like?
And there's nothing I could do about it. I was helpless, Mutt. That's how I hear that line.
And so I don't know. I'd let him. I'd tell him he's gonna die, and you're kind of like, well, I don't know. He has his trajectory.
That line also lands like a Marion punch.
Yeah.
I tell him he's gonna die.
Does.
Like there are a couple of really heavy hitting lines here.
Oh my God, and we get Marion's theme throughout all this.
That's great.
Killing me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's very well written. You're not expecting that at all. And you're not expecting that they're going to say that. You think they're going to say, well, Mutt, I don't know, he got in over his head or so. I don't know. Or they tell a story, be like, he was in Quezon and, something like that. You know what I mean? They're going to tell some story like, he paraglided.
He ran 3 miles with his friend's leg.
Yeah, exactly. And Da Nang and
I'm suddenly
Mutt.
Understanding why Tom cried during the Hall of Fame induction for Rush. He wasn't. It's because it was the unexpected line of blah 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 blah.
That wasn't part of what I was reacting to, Peter, and you know it.
I do think it lands. You're not expecting that at all. You're expecting like a longer story or thing. He's like, I tell him he's gonna die, and you're like, whoa. So that's a very bold choice by is James Mangold, whoever
It's a very direct sense. Yeah. It's not like he passed or he died. Like it's a very people tend not to speak like that, especially their own family. Like it's a really.
Yeah, they really took a chance.
It's raw
for it. Yeah,
yeah, it's good. Like that to me, this is the best part of the movie so far.
Yeah, I agree. What's your favorite movie, Pete?
Best part of a great movie.
I got nothing about the rest of the minutes. Like there's just she's on a boat, she finds some booze.
I don't understand like you say. I don't remember what happens after this, but you say foreshadowing, so I guess maybe it's just foreshadowing. But it's weird. It's weird to me that she looks at dynamite and is like, "Hello,
I found some dynamite."
Hey,
meanwhile,
I don't really get that.
What have we here? Dynamite. Like unless you're in a
Something
video
else
game,
to believe in.
like that's a weird thing to me.
I don't get that either. And then how on our Patreon Anything Goes show, I'm waiting for that one guy who writes in and he's going to be like, good-looking scuba diver who peeks in on that.
Asks, what's your favorite
good-looking Aegean frogman.
Time, Jerry.
Well, speaking of the best parts of the minute,
Yeah, good-looking frog people.
Oh,
this coming in over the wire from Professor Christy Porter.
he called your sister a frog person.
A good-looking frog person.
A good-looking frog person. When Indy mentions how hard you believe versus Wombat's mentioning of cash, is this the difference between generations?
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah, not
well,
quite.
okay. Well, there are a lot of times people say when the younger generation is more ideal, or they have loftier philanthropic. Why can't the world just be rainbows? Whatever. When you're younger,
Right.
people ask those types of questions. They're a little bit more like, it's just how hard you believe it. It's a little bit more philosophical. And then as we get older, we become hearted assholes and we're jerks. And you're like,
So this
okay,
is like
sure.
this is like a reverse
Yeah.
generational thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
man.
that's what Professor Christy Porter's asking. Is
Oh.
it because
Oh.
she's not idealistic at all about it? She's like, it's just cash. And he's like, no. Yeah. Is that a generational
Also, over the course of the
thing?
movie, they sort of dovetail, and she becomes a hardened thing, and then he goes down a banister and has fun. He realizes his heart. And
This is the beginning. This is his origin story. This is where the
Yeah.
banister sliding starts.
Ugh.
They're like switching places, switching generations
Why did we
here.
watch that? That was awful. It's one of the worst things happened to this show because Pete won't shut up about it. It's just a knife in the heart every time.
Would you rather talk about that or blah blah blah?
I mean, one's Rush.
Yeah.
The other's a stupid 90s
Indiana
I
Jones.
hate the blah blah blah. I'd rather talk about the indie.
so.
Well, the good news
Why
is
are
I'm
those
going
only
to keep
two
talking about
choices?
both.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Something to look forward to. Everybody, you heard it here. Next week we'll either be talking about blah blah blah, or Indy going down a banister as an old man who believes in magic and a young girl's heart.
Take off
is that how that
to
line
the
goes?
great white north. Take off. It's a beauty way to go. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tommy?
Of course I do. Yeah.
Yeah. All
What
I
are
right.
you
think that
talking
song
about?
played at our wedding.
What is the song?
That was your friend Geddy Lee from Rush, Pete,
Oh.
singing the Great White North theme.
Bob and
for,
Doug McKenzie.
Bob and Doug McKenzie. Yeah.
It's real. It's pretty. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, Tommy, how obscure is that reference?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking. I mean, well, it's
It
pretty.
depends on how hard you believe.
But yeah, how hard you believe in the mass public to know stuff. That's pretty obscure. I'm gonna get. I mean, it's like 100% Canadian, so Americans will never have heard of it. So yeah, I'll say it's like a solid 5 or 4. No. I mean, sorry, it's like a 7 or 8 or something of obscurity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I do want to know. Pete just responded to my. I want to know what musical note Pete's is. Like if you were to play that on like a piano or a violin or something, what note would that be? Somebody please try to figure that out for next week so we can discuss that instead of other stuff. But we will discuss the next 3 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny if you come back. Even if you don't come back, we'll still do it. We'll just do it to an empty room. But, well, that's what's going to be happening right here next week on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Why?